Hello and welcome. In this video we are going to backtest the, I quote, most effective MACD strategy for day trading crypto, forex and stocks from DataTrader using Python. As a spoiler, this has some very interesting results for intraday cryptocurrency data, so definitely stay tuned. And also, don't even think about skipping a single second of this video. So let's get into the strategy, which is pretty much straightforward. We are buying when the MACD is crossing above the MACD signal line. So this blue line is crossing above this orange line. Also, the price has to be above its own 100 time steps exponential moving average. These are the two buying conditions. For the exit, I'm slightly deviating from DataTraders' approach, as he's setting the stop loss at the nearest swing low, which is a bit subjective. So of course you can work with assumptions here, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm just working with a static stop loss. So I'm just taking a certain percentage number, e.g. 98% of the current price. And I'm setting the take profit at 1.5, the stop loss, same as DataTrader. Furthermore, I'm only backtesting the long side. Before we are getting into the coding part, please note the following. You should be familiar with the backtesting library in Python and also with pulling cryptocurrency data. I will link the necessary prerequisites in the video description. Alright, let's get started. We need some libraries. Pandas for data handling, TA to calculate technical indicators. From the backtesting library, we need backtest and strategy to define and backtest our strategy. And I'm also importing from backtesting.lib the crossover function. That is just a convenient way to implement the MACD crossover. You can also code that from scratch as an alternative. We need from Binance the client to pull cryptocurrency price data, and I'm also instantiating the client. These are the libraries. Next, we want to pull cryptocurrency price data. And I'm using a function which I've used in some of my previous videos. So these are linked in the video description. So I'm just copy pasting the syntax from my other screen here. So this function getData, in a nutshell, is simply pulling K-line data or candlestick data for a given time frame. So I'm starting with 4 hours here for a given symbol, starting at a particular date. These are some data manipulations. So I'm just extracting date, open, high, low, close here. Then I'm renaming the columns, set the date from a Unix timestamp to a human readable timestamp, then set the index of that data frame to the date column, and transform all values to floating values. So in the end, if I'm calling this function for, let's say, ETH, starting in the beginning of 2022, I'm getting a data frame like this. You see, 4-hour time frame here, starting in the beginning of 2022, going until today, open, high, low, close data. So this is how this function is working. For more details, check out the linked video. So let's store that in a variable df, and with that we have ETH data on the 4-hour time frame over the last 10 months here, right? So 1.7k rows. So this is our price data, and now we need to define our strategy. So first we are creating a class, calling that as the legend itself, a DataTrader here. So the YouTuber presenting the strategy. And this is inheriting from strategy, which we have imported from the backtesting library above here. Then I'm defining my init method here. And here, as I explained in the backtesting introduction or in the backtesting tutorials, here I have to define my parameters. So first I'm assigning close to self-data close. So I'm just extracting the close column here. So why am I doing that? Just for convenience, because I'm using the close price to calculate the technical indicators, what we are doing now. So this is simply a convenience step. I could also just take self-data close for the calculations. So first of all, I'm assigning self MACD. Use self I and then use the TA library pick trend functions, pick the MACD, and provide the close as a series. So you see here, I'm using the close, which I've defined here for my technical indicators. So this is also already my MACD line. Now I need my MACD signal line. Pretty much the same with some amendments here. So MACD signal, and I have my MACD signal. And next I need my 100 time steps exponential moving average, just calling that EMA 100 here. Use self I, TA trend, EMA indicator, provide the close as a series and the window as 100. And that's already my technical indicators, right? So we need the MACD and the MACD signal line to determine if we have a crossover of those, and we need the EMA as the long-term trend, right? So these are my parameters for this strategy. Now in the next, literally the next method, so we are calling that next, we are defining the strategy itself, right? So again, init, parameters, next, strategy. First, I'm doing a convenience assignment again. So I'm just calling that price and assign that to the close. Why? Because the price is my reference for two things. I want to check if my current price is above the 100 time steps EMA, but I also want to have that as the reference for the stop loss. Because when my buying conditions are fulfilled, I want to buy and lock in the current price times the stop loss level. So if that's 3%, I want to have times 0.97, right? So this is why I'm assigning that here. And next, I'm just taking the buying condition. So the buying condition was if I have a crossover of, so I'm using the crossover which I've imported above here. As said, you can also code that from scratch. I've covered that in other videos. And here in the first argument of the crossover, I have to provide the line which should cross the other line. And the other line is the signal line. So this means if I have a crossover of the MACD line crossing above the signal line, and second condition was my price is above the long-term EMA. These are my two buying conditions from the very beginning, right? And now I'm defining my stop loss, calling that SL here. And my stop loss is simply my current price times, and I'm taking 3% stop loss here, right? And that's it for the stop loss. So I want to exit the position when my price for what I bought for is dropping by 3%. And my target profit, I'm setting a price times, and then, yeah, I said 1.5 times the stop loss, right? So I'm taking 3 times 1.5 here, 4.5. So I know I could calculate that in my head. So 4.5% is my target profit here in this case, right? And just as a side note, before we are moving on, you can also work with some flexible parameters, right? So you can take like SL level, I don't know, 3%, and then take your stop loss as 1 minus SL level. That would be your stop loss, and 1 plus stop loss level times 1.5. That would be your target profit, right? So you can make this more flexible, right? Just to give you a hint for that. But for now, I'm just keeping it static like so and say, okay, I want to buy. Setting the stop loss to my stop loss defined here and my target profit to my target profit here. So what is this pretty straightforward construct doing? It is calculating technical indicators and then it's checking if I have a MACD crossover and my price is above the EMA 100. I'm placing a buying order and I'm selling once my stop loss is hit or my target profit is hit. Nothing more than that. And that's already it for the strategy. So we can execute this. And now we can backtest that strategy. So we are defining BT, use backtest, which we have imported above, provide the data we want to backtest. So we are providing DF, so just our ETH for our granular price data starting in the beginning of 2022. Provide the strategy we want to test, and we want to test the DataTrader strategy. Set the cash amount to whatever we want to provide here. So I'm just taking some pocket money, so 10 grand, and set the commission to, and I'm taking the Binance commission. So to make it as realistic as possible, right? So this is the commission, in case you're wondering, the Binance commission, and I've multiplied it times 2 because buying and selling. So I'm getting 0.0015 as the commission. And with that, I can execute that, and I can run the backtest and store the output in output, use backtest run, and can take a look at what we got here. And as you see, we're getting quite interesting results. In 2022, while ETH was dropping by 65%, this strategy, at least on the 4-hour time frame, would have made 20% profit with an exposure time of just 5.7%, right? We would have made 70 trades with a win rate of 58% here. Okay, so let's take a look at that visually using BT plot. And here you have the equity curve here, right? You made 20% gains, have a max drawdown of 10%. Here you see the trades, so red if it's not profitable and green if it was a profit, and makes sense, right? We have the losses at the stop loss level here and the profits at the target profit. So here you see the chart with the technical indicators, and you see quite nicely where the trades were, right? So stayed out of the market here all the time because the price was below the 100 in EMA, and we captured some nice price movements here, right? Anyhow, maybe we were just lucky in this year, so let's go back to 2021. So you see this is taking some more time here, as this is some more data. So we have roughly 4K rows now. So let's run this again, see what we got. Quite interesting here, right? We made 44% return with that strategy, but we didn't beat the asset itself, right? So the buy and hold return is 72%. But, and this is the point, we have only an exposure time of 8% here, right? Made 62 trades and made 44% return. So this is important to note here. Win rate is going down a bit, but still we made a profit here, right? Now let's check out some other assets. So of course you need assets which are moving quite distinctly, right? So my guess is that this won't work that good on Bitcoin, but let's check out some smaller coins beforehand. So we have Cardano. Let's take 2022 here. For Cardano, it has 31% in 2022 here, while the buy and hold return was 72% here. Let's take a look at the plot. So here you see it visualized again. And let's take another one, or let's check that out for starting in the beginning of 2021 here. So also interesting, right? Buy and hold was 101, and the return of the strategy was 76% with an exposure time of only 5.7% here, right? Winning rate of 55%. So seems to, and I'm very cautious here because you would need to check out some more stuff here, right? But seems to work on ETH and Cardano, at least on the 4-hour time frame, right? Let's check one more coin here, Dogecoin. Let's check for 2022 first. So in case you are bored or something like that, you can play around with that for yourself, of course. I'm just going through some stuff here to make a good summary in the end. So you see Dogecoin even 46% while dropping by 65%, staying in the position for only 4% of the time. 16 trades in 2022 here. Quite insane here, right? 75% win rate. How does the plot look like? Yeah. Quite interesting, right? So maybe worth to do some further analysis on that. But now let's crush the strategy because we want to find out, and I'm quite sure that if you take a lower time frame, this would not work. But let's summarize for now. For the 4-hour time frame, it seems to be interesting, at least for ETH, Doge, Cardano, and some other related coins in that market cap area, most probably. Without having tested that, it's just a hypothesis. Let's check out Bitcoin because I think that at least with the current parameters, we need some more volatility to make the strategy profitable. Because you have a stop loss of 3% and a target profit of 4.5%. So you need some movement in the asset, right? But anyhow, let's just check that for Bitcoin in 2022. Important here, for 10 grand we cannot buy one Bitcoin, right? Because we are also, you see, we are getting the error message if we want to trade Bitcoin, increase capital. So let's take 100 grand here. And as you see, for Bitcoin, it doesn't work. So let's actually check if maybe if we take, yeah, well, that's 3. If we take other stop loss and target profit levels. No, but still, this is not a good idea for Bitcoin, right? Very low winning rate. Interesting as well, right? So of course, you can do all that stuff for yourself, right? Check out your coins, check that out for an array of coins, for 200 coins. The sky is the limit here, right? But to summarize, for Bitcoin, not a good idea, at least in 2022, and probably also from 2021 on. Yeah, you're just burning capital here, right? So not a good idea for Bitcoin. Now let's check out lower time frames in the end. I would be surprised if the strategy is still profitable on lower than 4-hour time frames. But anyhow, let's check it out for ETH. As a reminder, ETH was profitable with 20% compared to minus 65% or so buy and hold return. So let's check out for 1-hour time frame. And now you see you're burning money with the 1-hour time frame, right? 76 trades, win rate of just 30%. So be very cautious here, right? 1-hour time frame is not a good idea at all, at least for ETH, and probably not any other currency. So let's check out Doge. Oh, sorry. Doge, you even burn more capital here, right? So yeah, the interval is also quite important, right? That's of course just the beginning of the analysis, right? So you can check out way more here, right? So are the default MACD parameters the best parameters? Is the 100 EMA the best look back window for the long-term trend, is the stop loss level maybe optimizable. I hope this word exists, but you know what I mean. And so on. So you can do a lot of more stuff with this construct here, and I actually encourage you to play around with that because it actually looks interesting for the 4-hour time frame with these parameters, independent on if you are considering this year or the last year. And yeah, with that, I will end this video here. I hope this was informative, interesting, and thank you very much for watching. And I'm looking forward to see you in the upcoming videos. Bye bye.